it's supposed to be like this feast or something. It's supposed to be this get together showing kindness and things that the so-called Indians showed the pilgrims for everything that it was like a hospitable act, supposedly. You understand? It was supposed to be an act of kindness that the Indians showed the pilgrims, that they was having the feast. And you gotta understand, in school we were spoon fed this narrative. You understand what I'm saying? So it's supposed to be the native Indians inviting the pilgrims to break bread as the first Thanksgiving. It's supposed to be, an act of so-called kindness, but that's not that couldn't be more further from the truth. You understand what I'm saying? Than anything. Like that's not the case. And one thing we gotta understand is, going through school and stuff like that, since we were kids, we've been spoon fed a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff that we've been taught is not reality. You understand? Just like we were taught that we're from Africa, when we're not from Africa. We are from Israel. You understand what I'm saying? Just because, we were sold as slaves from the continent of so-called Africa doesn't mean we're from that land. You have to go and do research. You can't just, the ball don't stop. You understand what I'm saying? Like you can't just, excuse me, you understand? You can't just listen to one thing. As a child, I understand it because as a child, you really kind of don't have a choice. You just take whatever you taught and you just run with it. But once you become of a certain age of understanding, it should come to a point of realize, like, hold on, wait a minute, should not research some of this stuff I've been taught? Should not, you know what I'm saying? Thank the Lord for the I.S.U.P.K and the Commander General YAHANNA, because those of us that are in the truth that have kids, we can teach our kids from a young age. Hey, look, this is the truth. Look, this is the research that was put in to get these answers, and this is what the real deal is. You understand what I'm saying? I sent you that I need you to pull that up. This is what they teach us, but this is the real deal. This is the research behind it. Like we don't just go and we don't just say stuff in the I.S.U.P.K. We actually do research. We don't just take what anybody just tell us. You understand? Unless they're a priest and prophet of the Lord in the I.S.U.P.K. You know what I'm saying? The men above me tell me something, I know it's true. Why? Because I know the Lord is with them. I know the proper research has been done. I understand that the Lord is, only dealing with the brothers in the I.S.U.P.K. You understand? And so with that being said, that's how I know. And when I first came into the truth, I say it all the time, I had a million questions. Every single question got answered with no sweat. And on top of that, it was, you understand, it was proven. It wasn't just told to me. Like going to the church, you going to the church, the pastor tell you anything, don't prove nothing. Just tell you a bunch of stuff, hooping, hollering, and jumping around and wiping the sweat off his forehead. You understand what I'm saying? This is a show, man. We're not up here for no show. You understand what I'm saying? So that definitely is not the truth. You know what I'm saying? There was no such thing as the Indians getting together with the pilgrims, a feast of Thanksgiving and all of that. You understand? The pilgrims pretty much forced themselves on the Indians, man. The oppressor forced themselves, you know what I'm saying, forced the Indians to, what they've been doing from the beginning. You understand? The scripture, I paraphrase, say there was a murderer from the beginning. The truth is not in them. You understand? So I want you to start reading. When you get down to, like, let's say Minnesota, that's gonna be the end of it. All right, so you'll scroll all the way down to where you see where it say Minnesota. You know what I'm talking about? Probably right here. Right there where it say Minnesota. That'll be the end of it. No sweat. So go ahead and bring that up.
This is the real story of Thanksgiving by Susan Bates.
Now this is pulled from an excerpt. This is an excerpt pulled from it's from www.manataka.org. You understand? And this is the truth about what happened, you understand, to the Native Indians, man. Go ahead.
Wakana. Most of us associate the holiday with happy pilgrims and Indians sitting down to a big feast. And that did happen once.
Started it, let's say the real story began.
The story began in 1614 when a band of English explorers sailed home to England with a ship full of Pautex Indians bound for slavery. They left behind smallpox, which virtually, they left behind smallpox, which virtually wiped out those who had escaped.
So now, this is talking about in 1614, it said when a band of English explorers sailed home to England, they had native Indians in the ship captive. No different from, it's the part of the transatlantic slave trade. Just like how we got over here to America, this is how, you got to understand something, man. The natives were here first. They came over here before us. You understand what I'm saying? Slavery didn't, the transatlantic slave trade didn't start with the so-called African Americans, or what, I said so-called African Americans, that's what we go by. But the slave trade started with us. It started with our, you understand what I'm saying, Latino brothers and sisters, the Indian brothers and sisters and stuff. That's where it started, man. So in 1614, they had already had a ship full of Indians. You understand? They were going to sell them in slavery. And where we find that at? In Deuteronomy chapter 28 and 68. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm sure we're going to bring that out. But go ahead.
By the time the Pilgrims in Massachusetts Bay, they found only one living Pawtucket Indian.
So hold on, before you go keep going, I forgot to add the fact that they left the smallpox. You understand? They gave the Indians smallpox. They say they left behind smallpox, which virtually wiped out those who had escaped. So they can't, man. I mean, that's just the atrocities, man. You understand what I'm saying? But then they want to spoon feed us. Oh, yeah, the happy pilgrims and Indians, and let you dress up as a pilgrim or Indian, and it's supposed to be all kumbaya, and we sit down having a damn feast. And it's supposed to be Thanksgiving, man. Like, it's no different from what they teach the kids today about the so-called African Americans that was put in slavery. You understand? The Israelites that were put in slavery, sold by Africans to the oppressor, saying that we basically volunteered to come over here as migrant workers or some crap. You understand what I'm saying? A great migration. Yeah, indentured service. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead, keep reading.
A man named Squanto, who had survived slavery in England and knew their language. He taught them to grow corn and to fish, and negotiated a peace treaty between the Pilgrims and the Wampanoag nation.
So you mean to tell me, you understand what I'm saying, an Indian named Squanto had survived the slavery in England, and he knew their language, so he knew how to speak to them. He taught them, like, so you mean to tell me, this is why this is a problem, you understand, that we face as Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans. We have so much compassion in our heart, man. Even after slavery, you understand what I'm saying? This man was still willing to teach, you understand, these English settlers and stuff how to get corn, how to fish, like, showing them the layout of the land, man. That's the compassion that we have in our heart. That's why we have to be the ruling class. You understand what I'm saying? They don't have no compassion. They left smallpox and stuff. That's what they did, slaughtered, 77 million Native Indians, man, along with the hundreds of millions of, 99 million plus so-called Negroes died on the ships coming over here. You understand what I'm saying? That's all these people do is kill, man. And they don't have no compassion in their heart, but we do. So this man had compassion in his heart to teach them how to fish and how to, grow crops and stuff like that. Go ahead.
At the end of the first year, the Pilgrims held a great feast honoring Squanto and the Wampanoags.
Mm-hmm.
But as word spread in England about the paradise to be found in the New World,
mm-hmm.
religious zealots called Puritans began arriving by the boatload.
Mm-hmm.
Finding no fences around the land, they considered it to be in the public domain.
So now they get the word out. The word travel fast. You understand what I'm saying? Like, oh, there's some land over there. Oh, it's all this land over here, and oh, you can grow crops and it's fruitful over there. We can make money, man. This is a gold mine. And he teaching y'all how to do this. Yeah, get in good with them. Keep doing what you're doing. You understand? That's, man, and then he tell his buddy. So they find out how to do this stuff. They're like, hey, man, say y'all come over here too. We got this stupid Indian that's going blah, blah, blah. Excuse my language, but this is how they were talking. Just like they call us niggers. You understand what I'm saying? They calling, you think You think he friends with this Indian? You understand what I'm saying? They don't like our oppressors don't give a damn about us. They gonna use us for what they can use us for and then kill us out, man. Go ahead.
Khan. But as Salaki, finding no fences, Salaki, joined by other British settlers, they seized land, capturing strong young natives for slaves and killing the rest.
So they joined the other British settlers. They seized the land, meaning they took over. They just, deboed it. They took it, killing, raping, robbing, murdering. You understand? And then taking the young, strong Native American men, young boys, you know what I'm saying? Like to hold them captive so they can work, man. Go ahead.
Khan. But the Pequot nation had not agreed to the peace treaty Squanto had negotiated, and they fought back.
Mm-hmm.
The Pequot War was one of the bloodiest Indian wars ever fought.
Mm.
In 1637, near present-day Groton, Connecticut, over 700 men, women, and children of the Pequot tribe had gathered for their annual Green Corn Festival, which is our Thanksgiving celebration.
Mm-hmm.
In the pre-dawn hours, the sleeping Indians were surrounded by English and Dutch mercenaries who ordered them to come outside.
Mm-hmm.
Those who came out were shot or clubbed to death, while the terrified women and children who huddled inside the longhouse were burned alive.
Good night. I mean, are y'all listening to this? And these are the same people that you want to befriend and hold hands with. These are the forefathers of these people. These same people had that same type of spirit on them nowadays, man. They don't treat us no different. They'll come all nice and sweet, smooth words, and then next thing you know, once you fall forward, if you fall for the bait, then they hook you and reel you in. You understand what I'm saying? For the kill, man. Keep going.
Khan. The next day, the governor of the Massachusetts Bay Colony declared a day of Thanksgiving because 700 unarmed men, women, and children had been murdered.
So you mean to tell me the next day after what is it called? The war, you understand what I'm saying? The Pequot War. You mean to tell me the next day after whoever came out the house, you understand, was shot and clubbed to death. And then because most likely the men came out, because that's how we do. We don't, one thing I'm gonna tell you right now, those Indians, they knew their true culture. They understood in the Israelite culture, we don't put our women on the front line. You understand what I'm saying? They left the women, they said, hey, long, we're gonna go out here and handle this. Y'all stay in here. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all keep the women and children safe, man. Just like no different from when we had camp in the I.S.U.P.K. The men go to camp. We don't bring our women and children. You understand what I'm saying? That's the front line. Go ahead.
Like, if I may add, the scripture says that the serpent is the most subtle beast of the field.
That's right.
So when they say that they came to this new land, they gave these people new stuff that they've never seen before. Mm-hmm. They gave them blankets and stuff. That's how they spread the smallpox. Mm-hmm. And when they spread the smallpox, they weakened the men. Mm-hmm. They knew that you couldn't break into a strong man's house unless you take out that strong man. Right. And how they do it today is with marijuana. That's one of the number one things that they use. Marijuana, these cell phones. They keep your head buried in the cell phones with bull crap stories and funny this and funny that to weaken you. That's all I want to say, sir.
Yeah, just to piggyback off that was heavy what you brought out, because just to piggyback off that, they also use our women. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, see, back then the women understood that their men are the dominant. You know what I'm saying, in the household. They understood that they are to be submissive to their husbands. You understand? So when men say, I'm going outside, I'm handling this, you stay put, that's what they did. They, you know what I'm saying? They yes, sir. That's like today, you know what I'm saying? Our women con out of one con means it's yes, sir, or yes, Lord. You understand what I'm saying? You show reverence to your man, you understand, your husband. And that's what they did. They submitted back then. But nowadays, the women make the man weak, or they push this agenda, you know what I'm saying, to further oppress the men. You know what I'm saying? Our sisters today want to be, want to do everything on their own, don't want to listen, don't want to follow instruction, don't want to be submissive, want to be all manly, and you know what I'm saying? it's just hard-headed and just not trying to, you understand, follow the rules under that man's guidance. You understand? Listen to that man's counsel. They instead, as soon as that man get aggressive, they don't even have to put his hands on him. As soon as he get to talking to her a certain way, why you talking to me like that? Blah blah blah. And want to call the police on them. They use the oppressor has put a system in place that our black women can use to further oppress us. You understand what I'm saying? All they gotta do is pick up a phone and call 911. Now this man is in fear for his life because he know even though he ain't do nothing, if the cops show up and he make a wrong move, he can get shot, he can get killed. And if you don't notice, there's been times where we call the law enforcement and they do come and shoot. You know what I'm saying? On man, and it be cases where we be looking for help from the law enforcement. That's why we can't depend on them. We have to depend on ourselves, man. And the women need to understand their place and understand that you are to be feminine. You are to be submissive. Listen to that husband's guidance, man. You understand what I'm saying? But yeah, I just want to. That's it. That's all you want to
Connor.
No sweat. Keep reading what we have.
Connor. Cheered by their victory, the brave colonists and their Indian allies attacked. Women and children over 14 were sold into slavery.
What part you go back where it say cheered by their victory? Say exactly what it say.
Cheered by their victory, the brave colonists.
All right, so like it, but we're gonna substitute that with these devils. Go ahead.
These devils and their Indian allies attacked village after village.
Mm-hmm.
Women and children over 14 were sold into slavery, while the rest were murdered.
And guess what? It's like women and children over 14. Why? Like, you know what I'm saying? They kill off the young ones because, the extra young because they can't work and stuff. Or they too weak and they don't want to raise them up. They take the ones that's 14 and up. Why? Because they want to be able to rape them and, you understand, molest them. And, that's what they want to do. And they're young. They can work, you know what I'm saying? They can go out and work in the sun and plant crops without really having too much of an effect. You know what I'm saying? You start getting them, like they take them younger than 13 or whatever, or 13 and under. It's like now you got to kind of care for them and tend to them. And they didn't have time for that. They want to exponentially, expeditiously, you understand what I'm saying, grow crops and get the settlement up and running fast as possible. So they took the ones that were able to work. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Connor. Boats loaded with as many as 500 slaves regularly left the ports of New England. Bounties were paid for Indian scalps to encourage as many deaths as possible. Following an especially successful raid against the Pequot in what is now Stamford, Connecticut, the churches announced a second day of Thanksgiving to celebrate the victory over the heathen savages. During the feasting, the hacked off heads of natives were kicked through the streets like soccer balls.
Good night. Y'all hearing this? They cut the heads off the native Indians and was kicking them around in the streets like they soccer balls during this feast. You understand? The so-called feast day. And this is the day that y'all gonna be celebrating them all. You understand? This is the day, not when I say y'all, I'm talking about us as our people. They're gonna be celebrating this tomorrow, man. Sitting down at the table. Then they're gonna say, well, it's for the family. It's just to give thanks to the Lord. Why the hell you trying to give thanks to the Lord when he don't? We're gonna get into that. Go ahead.
Connor. Even the friendly Wampanoag did not escape the madness. Their chief was beheaded, and his head impaled on a pole in Plymouth, Massachusetts, where it remained on display for 24 years.
24 years had his head on display as a trophy in Massachusetts. You understand? And to this day, Boston is still one of the, even though it's up north, it's still one of the most racist, you know what I'm saying, places. Massachusetts is one of the most racist places you can be. You understand? Because it just, if you notice it, like if you go to Massachusetts, it's predominantly, the oppressor. It's just, that's, you know what I mean? Like they're not like the Southern races. It's more like, it's a different type of racist. But they still racist? Go ahead.
Connor. The killings became more and more frenzied, with days of Thanksgiving feast being held after each successful massacre.
So you mean to tell me after each time they killing off these, you know, our native Indians, our brothers, you understand? Each time that they killing them off and having these massacres, they're having a day of Thanksgiving. So now each year we celebrate so-called Thanksgiving, and we don't even understand the whole reason for how did it start? And how did it start does matter. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's just our people are so destroyed for lack of knowledge, man. Our people are destroyed. And even then when they find out the truth about it, they still don't care. Oh, well, I just want to eat. You can eat any day. Every day you can eat. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you mean to tell me you got to have, you know, this feast dedicated to this day when it's really representing the slaughter of our brothers and sisters? You understand what I'm saying? Keep reading.
George Washington finally suggested that only one day of Thanksgiving per year be set aside instead of celebrating each and every massacre.
See, George Washington was, man, you know what I'm saying? They don't tell a true story about George Washington. They just tell you that he's the first president. And he really wasn't the first president, you know what I'm saying, from what I was researching, you understand? But that's for a whole nother story. But they don't tell you how racist he was and how evil this bastard was. You understand? He said, well, instead of having to celebrate it at the East Massacre, we'll just celebrate it once a year. You understand what I'm saying? But it's still the purpose for them to celebrate it. It's still relevant. It's still the same. Go ahead.
Later, Abraham Lincoln decreed Thanksgiving Day to be a legal national holiday during the Civil War.
Here come this bastard that everybody wanted. Oh, he emancipated the slaves. He did. That's because he had no choice. You understand what I'm saying? Abraham Lincoln ain't had no choice but to emancipate the slaves. It was causing a financial issue. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's a whole history behind that. It was causing problems. That's why he had to do it. You understand? If it was left up to him, if I'm not mistaken, he even said it. If it was left up to him, he wouldn't have done it. But he had no choice. And not only did he do it, but they also were savvy enough. That's why they say they're the most subtle beasts of the field. They were also savvy enough to make it to where we still enslaved today. Even though he emancipated the slaves, you understand what I'm saying? We still are captive today, though. They found ways to hold us, to keep us oppressed. They were creative. So no, are we chained to poles and our backs getting beat? No. But are we still going to the jails at an alarming rate? You understand what I'm saying? Yes. Are we still getting shot down in the street? Yes. So we still being lynched. We still being, you know what I'm saying, held captive as slaves, man. Y'all got to wake up and understand this stuff, man. Go ahead.
On the same day, he ordered troops to march against the starving Sioux in Minnesota.
Right, man. And that's the end of that. You understand what I'm saying? But the whole point of bringing that out was to show you that this so-called holiday that we are, you know what I'm saying, celebrating is not what you supposed, like you celebrating it talking about giving thanks and stuff like that. That was a lie that you were told. You understand what I'm saying? They just tell us anything, we fall for it, man. Like, when are we gonna start understanding that these are our brothers and sisters, man? You understand? Like, we have to understand that, man. So for one, I want you to you can bring up that Deuteronomy 15 and 16, break that down. You understand? To show like this, the curses that we like. The Lord, listen, the Lord gave us these laws, statutes, and commandments to follow. You understand what I'm saying? The reason why we going through these curses, the reason why these native Indians went through these curses, because that lets you know that we are the same people. We are Israelites. Because if we wasn't, they wouldn't be going through these, they wouldn't have went through these issues and still going through issues at such a devastating, you understand, feat. Like, and go ahead, read that and break it. I'll read it and you can break it down. No sweet. Let me get the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15, man. It says, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
All right. What it's saying is like, okay, when I was coming up, every time I did something right that my parents told me to do, I was rewarded. And when I did not do what they told me to do, I was punished. So basically what this scripture is saying is, if you don't do what the Most High tell you to do, this is what's going to happen to you.
Right.
Go to 16.
Come. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city. Y'all already know what's going on in the city right now. In every street, in every hood, in every barrio, we getting shot down, we getting lynched, we getting falsely accused of everything, man. We at the bottom of the pulpit, Salakia, the bottom of the totem pole on everything. Every neighborhood that we live in is somebody else that run our businesses. You know what I'm saying? The gas stations are run by Indians and Arabs, man. Even the hair stores, like they run by Asians.
Right.
Like we can't go buy a bag of chips without smelling funky armpits. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like, and then the small little business that we do that are black, we don't support them. You know what I'm saying? Or the price is too high. This and to that. This and like the turkey leg hut here in Houston, man. They're doing their things, you know, selling turkey legs, man. That is a good establishment. But now you got black folks talking about the smoke is messing up they plants and disrupting their neighborhood. Now they trying to get people to sign a petition to shut them down.
You know, we do know that they're gentrifying all the neighborhood. It is oppressors that live in that area. And I would bet my money that that's who's complaining, because I don't know what Negro would complain. That food is good as hell. You understand what I'm saying? From everything that I've been seeing, like I personally haven't, you know what I'm saying, ate that, but from what I see how it looked and from what everything, I trust my brothers and my sisters' judgment here in the I.S.U.P.K. You understand what I'm saying? They say the food is delicious. So I'm going to trust their word for it. It looked delicious as hell. And if they tell me it's delicious. I don't know what Negro would complain about that. You understand what I'm saying? Hell, when we cook in our own house, we be messing up we funk up the whole apartment. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so we used to this. This ain't nothing new to us. When we barbecue, guess what? The whole apartment's gonna smell it.
Right.
The whole neighborhood gonna smell when we barbecuing something. You understand what I'm saying? When we cooking something. Y'all can understand where I'm coming from, not to hold you off. But just like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Have you ever just drove up in your apartments or your neighborhood and you smell something like that fried chicken cooking? Because us Israelites, you understand, we gotta be stylish with it. You understand? When we get ready to cook, and you know you good, you're gonna raise up all the windows, you understand? You're gonna crack the door a little bit, let me let the smoke out. You're gonna make any excuse. Let me open up the patio so everybody can smell it, man. I'm trying to then they ask you what you doing. What you doing? Why you got your door? I'm just letting it smoke out. There's a little smoky in here. You know, these fire alarms be going, you know what I'm saying? The smoke detectors be going off. So let me go ahead and just crack the window. Meanwhile, you really trying to get everybody to smell that good smell. And you know what I'm saying? You ride down street, you pull up in the apartment, somebody cooking some fried chicken. I can smell it. I know what that is. Or somebody barbecuing some brisket. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how we do. So the turkey leg hut having that smell, that good food smell going up in the neighborhood, hell, that's gonna draw us black folk to it. Right. So the only people complaining, man, gotta be them, you know what I'm saying? The oppressors, man, or the heathens. Exactly. But go ahead and finish your points. And
it says, "Cursed that shalt thou be in the field."
Right.
Now the field is synonymous to your workplace. Now, you know, that phrase, first one hired, last one fired. Last one hired, first one fired. That's us, because we not the first to be hired for anything. You know, we got brothers and sisters that got all these letters behind their name, PhD, MAD, and everything, got all these degrees. But then when it's time to go get that job, they tell you that, you know, when you graduate college and they tell you that your degree supposed to make $75,000 starting, you know, but they tell you, okay, we'll get your teacher certification, you know, as a backfire, because they know when you go apply for this job at this firm or whatever, that high school dropout white boy is gonna get the job before you, and he dropped out of high school, and he gonna get the job because Billy Ray is his dad's frat brother, so he gonna get the job, and he ain't gonna sit back and have the nigga that got all them degrees do all his work while he make $100 and some $1,000 a year, and you sit up there making 40. You know what I'm saying? That's why it says, "Cursed thou be in the field." you're not gonna like when it's time for when the higher ups start chopping heads off, they're not gonna chop off the CEO guy first. The dude that's making copies, trying to downside, the dude that's making copies, he gone first. Or the lady that's calling doing the customer service, she gone next. We got to, we have to cut down, we have to downsize in finances so we can get our bonuses at the end of the year. And this is the time that they get their bonuses. You know what I'm saying? So you might have your job now, but guess what? When it's time for them to clip some numbers, hey, you might be on the chopping block. And that's all I have, sir.
Right, and to add to the curse, you know what I'm saying, part being in the city and in the field, it's also synonymous with the fact that you can't run or hide. If you are the Lord's chosen people, if you are Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, you can't run from it. And the reason why, because a lot of our brothers and sisters, you understand, like especially like Negroes hate our Latino people. You understand, Latinos hate the Negroes. Negroes don't know that the Indians are people. Like it was like we have a perpetual hate for each other because the oppressor has divided us, man. But instead, we want to love the others. We want to love the other, and another thing wrong with our people too. When they have, I'm gonna come back to that point. Another thing wrong with our people too. You fall in love like stuff like anime. Now, there's nothing wrong with anime. I love a lot of our brothers and sisters in the I.S.U.P.K. look at anime, but you fall in love with the cartoon, and if you're not in this truth, guess what? You start to love those people just because they come up with these cartoons. So you know it's Japanese or Chinese or whatever. So now you feel like, oh, I can relate to the Chinese people. I love it. I can, you know what I'm saying? They're not too bad after all. Hell, they make good Dragon Ball Z cartoons. So if they make good Dragon Ball Z cartoons and it's something that I can relate to, then they gotta be good people. You understand what I'm saying? That's not the case, man. It's nothing wrong, just like a special entertainer. Some brothers and sisters got, entertainers that are heathens. Hell, I used to listen to The Weeknd. You understand, man? I still jam a couple songs. He ain't really came out with nothing significant recently, but I used to jam the Birds. You understand what I'm saying? I jam The Weeknd. You know what I'm saying? I'm keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with that. Cause get what? If I could get him in the kingdom, hell, he gonna be singing songs all got, you know what I'm saying, serenading my wives. All the whole guy while I'm, you know what I'm saying, doing whatever I'm doing. That's gonna be his slavery. You understand what I'm saying? He is gonna slave, and he is gonna, you know what I'm saying, whatever. If my rib may like, give me another entertainer that may be a damn heathen or something. You understand what I'm saying? My rib may like him. Hey, guess what? No sweat. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? As long as you don't do no songs about the damn marijuana. You understand what I'm saying? You can't do that in the kingdom. But whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whatever's whatever. Look, we're gonna have heathen slaves, you understand? And they're gonna do whatever. If they entertain, guess what? And you know why? There ain't nothing wrong with that. Because guess what? The oppressor had us tap dancing on stage. You understand what I'm saying? Had us looking retarded and entertaining them, right? What we doing right now? These basketball players, football players, you know what I'm saying? Guess what they are for the oppressor? They are entertainers for them. They pay them all this money to basically be a slave to whatever they want. What was his name, man? Before he died, was it Bob McNair, or it was somebody that said you can't let the prisoners run the asylum? I can't remember exactly. That was Bob McNair, you understand? For he died, Most High in Christ, you understand? He said you can't let the prisoners run their asylum. That's what they think about us, man. Even as entertainers, even as rich Black men, you still are a prisoner to them. And you're a prisoner. Not only you're a prisoner, he said an asylum.
Right.
You know the asylum, I mean, they really think you dumb. They think you dumb, retarded. That's why they was getting you out of high school. You understand? They think you ain't good for nothing but your athleticism and stuff like that. Now, I ain't saying you can't, listen, if you got talent to get you out the hood and make millions of dollars, don't forget where you come from, though. Don't forget, you understand? Be like Colin Kaepernick. What I mean by that is he ain't in the I.S.U.P.K, but he understands what the oppressor is doing in this system. He understands that, you understand, at the end of the day, he still understands he's a nigger. And that's how we should all be. You understand? Any famous Black man, you understand? But going back to the other point, I would like, you know, being, you know, being cursed in the city of the field synonymous with you can't run or hide. So guess what? Our brothers, the Native Indians, they couldn't run and hide from this oppression that came upon them because guess what? They are children of the Lord. We stopped following the commandments. We stopped following what the Lord said. So as a result, the Lord allowed this punishment to come upon them. So that further lets you know that they are part of us. Not only that, they still being oppressed. They are native to this land, man. But guess what? They barely got any land to themselves. They get put on reservations. The reservations are trash. You can compare them to the you know the housing projects in you know what I'm saying in the ghettos.
With limited resources.
Right, limited resources, man. They build pipelines on the reservations, even after the Indians begged and pleaded. You understand what I'm saying? For them not to do it because they knew it was going to harm their water resources. They knew it was going to harm their food resources. They still built the pipeline on the reservations, and guess what happened? What happened to that pipeline? Go ahead. It bust. And now they have to deal with, and they still probably dealing with oil and everything. All you know what I mean? All type dirty, like it's just horrible, man. They made like they reservations. It's just, man, you know what I'm saying? It's just of America and in the field, in the reservations, wherever we at. It don't matter. We was in the damn mountains. You can't run from it. You understand what I'm saying? You think just because you ain't in the city where you can get shot down by the police, you can still get your house burnt down in somewhere in the woods. It don't matter where you at, man. Like oppression will find you if you are the children of the Lord. That lets you know that the Native Indians are our brothers and sisters. They are Israelites, along with all the countless research. If I may, you understand, Captain Katazai just brought out a 12 tribe lecture that was phenomenal and broke down every single thing, presented artifacts and history and research and everything showing how each 12 tribe is, you know, part of the nation of Israel, and the so-called Native Americans are on there. You understand, all the research and artifacts. They was following the laws. They had the 10 Commandments in Hebrew. You understand, artifacts. They were wearing the dyes, the fringes, all of that stuff, man. They just strayed away. You understand, and stopped following the laws, statutes, and commandments. So as a result, they had to deal with that. But guess what? That doesn't make it right. Just like we had to deal with the punishment that we got. We still dealing with it. They still dealing. We all, Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans, are still dealing with this punishment that we receive for not following the law, statutes, and commandments. That's why it's important for us to get back to the law, statutes, and commandments. And following Thanksgiving, celebrating Thanksgiving is against the Lord, man. And you wonder why we still being oppressed right now. You wonder why we still at the bottom. You wonder why we still going through these curses. Because tomorrow you're gonna be eating turkey legs, some macaroni and cheese, greens, pies, and all of this crap. You understand that's being presented as a gift for the slaughter of our brothers, man. It is highly offensive to me for anybody celebrating so-called Thanksgiving, man. You understand what I'm saying? So with that, man, give me Amos 5:21, man. Go ahead.
This is the book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 21. I despise your feast days.
The Lord hates, not only do he hate, he despises your feast days. Tomorrow, the Lord hates, he despises so-called Thanksgiving. Go ahead.
And I will not smell in your solemn assemblies.
The Lord is not going to be in the midst of that. You understand? The Most High hates all of our man-made holidays, man. You understand? In Leviticus chapter 23, he has given us our own high holy days that we're supposed to follow. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's what it's about. It is like savagely evil for anybody to celebrate Thanksgiving, man. You understand? Think about, okay, if once a year we celebrated 9/11 and we had a feast. You understand? Like, we just had a feast, man, and or think about what's some other massacres, you know what I'm saying, that killed a lot of heathens, a lot of you understand, so-called white European people or any other heathens, you know, Hiroshima or anything, any of these, you know what I'm saying, slaughter of these heathen people, Pearl Harbor. What if we had a celebration every year, you understand, to celebrate this stuff, man? You understand? Like, oh, everything it'll be a whole problem then. You understand? What about if Nazi, you know what I'm saying, celebrated Nazi Day, where they went and killed all the Germans, the so-called Jewish men, you understand? And back then, what about that? What if we celebrated stuff like that? You understand? It would be heinous for us to do that. You understand what I'm saying? But guess what? That's exactly what y'all are doing when y'all celebrate Thanksgiving, man. That's how our Native American brothers and sisters feel, man. And that's how I feel too, because they my brothers. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's how it is, man, compared to that. You understand? The Lord is not with that, man. The Lord will not smell in those solemn assemblies. Give me Psalms 55 and 20. You understand what I'm saying? The Lord is not going to smell in those solemn assemblies, man. Y'all got to get y'all mind right. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this ain't cool. You can celebrate, you can go eat with the family any day of the week. Hell, you need to be trying to, like, you know what I'm saying? If you ain't close to your family, you know, ain't nothing wrong. Like, go check on your family any day of the week, man. Don't use Thanksgiving as a day to, oh, I just want to meet up with the family and we can eat and, you know, nah, hell no, man. It don't even make sense. Is that what this come down to? We come down like we dumb this stuff down to just one day. You understand, where you could spend with your family and have a family reunion? Hell, you need to have more cookouts. In the I.S.U.P.K, we have cookouts all year round. And feasts. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we follow the Most High's feast, and it be going down. I don't know what the hell y'all listen, our feast, I'm gonna tell you right now, every feast that we have is 10 times better than so-called Thanksgiving. And we have an all year round in the I.S.U.P.K, man. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have a huge feast coming up for the Passover. You understand? It's going down, man. That's a feast day. That's a high holy day that we're gonna celebrate. You understand? We got the dedication coming up later on in December. You understand? It's going down. It's gonna be way better than so-called Thanksgiving, man. That's what we gotta do, man. We gotta celebrate what the Lord wants us to celebrate. You got that?
Go
ahead.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 20. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. Verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart.
I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. You understand what I'm saying? The oppressor has put his hand against the Native Americans, man. That's what happened to them, man. They put their hands toward them, man. The Native Indians entered into over 150 treaties. 150 treaties, man, with the white man. You understand? And all of them were broken. Not one treaty was kept. And that's what they do. They break all the treaties. That's exactly what they do. Guess what? The oppressor spoke with smooth words. You understand? Hey, man, look, we could just come together, be at peace. You know, we could trade, we could join together. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? War was always in their mind, man. War was all, like, from the beginning, war was in their mind. They knew what they planned on the slaughter of our Native American brothers, man. You understand? Like, that's what it was about. You know, independence, sovereignty, and the right of man to freedom, man. Those are ideas the white man fought for establishing America. But guess what? The whole time they had hate in their heart for the Native Indians, man. You understand? And the oppressor in America and everywhere else, you know what I'm saying, is the devil that the Bible speaks of. That's what the oppressor is, man. So, you know, I mean, I don't, you understand? I don't even understand how people could not see how the oppressor is the devil, man. Look at what Christopher Columbus did in the Caribbean to the, you know what I'm saying? Like the Pilgrims of the Mayflower in New England. You understand? Like, it's a lot of stuff. It's nothing but atrocities that the oppressor has committed, man.
Right.
You know, they spoke about friendship and sharing and coexisting with each other. You understand? And guess what? The extermination of the Native Indians, man, was always on the oppressive agendas, man. Now they celebrate this on a day, you know what I'm saying? Used to celebrate it after East Massacre. Now they celebrate it once a year, man. This is what, so while you sitting down with your family eating turkey, guess what the oppressor is doing? They sitting down with their family and they celebrating the slaughter of the Native Indians, man. That's what they doing. And if they doing it and they started it, you doing it too. I don't care if you're hungry. You better find something else to eat. You understand what I'm saying? Don't even go to the turkey leg hut. You know what I'm saying? So like it. Don't even go there. You understand? Like go find something else to eat, man. You know what I'm saying? Eat some damn peanut butter and jelly sandwiches or something, man. You understand? Give me Psalm chapter 10, verse 5.
This is the book of Psalm, chapter 10, verse 5. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them.
The ways of the oppressor, you know what I'm saying? Like it's always been destruction and oppression. That's their way. They've been murderers from the beginning, man. You understand? Like they don't consider the judgment of the Most High. They don't think about the punishment that they're gonna receive. They think they're above the Most High. They think that they're God. They believe that they are the higher power. You understand what I'm saying? Because they rule the earth and the Lord, they say the scripture, I'm paraphrasing, but it says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So the oppressor feel like they are at the top. They don't feel like nothing can touch them. You understand what I'm saying? And they are very prideful, you know what I'm saying, in the sight of their enemies, man. They don't believe that they will ever be defeated or face, you understand, the punishment that the Lord is going to deal with them. They don't believe it's coming. They're too prideful. You understand what I'm saying? Like that's why do you think they act the way they do? When you tell them about, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like it's been times where they come up in front of the camp, you know what I'm saying? I was a Yatisai, I was a Malakwa, or somebody be blazing on them. And then guess what? Hey, you ask them about it, would they apologize? They'll tell you straight up, nope. Because they don't care, man. They don't have no compassion. They like that. They feel pride when you know what I mean? Like it feels good to them when you tell them all the atrocities that they people have committed. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, it's like they're taunting us, man. When they celebrate Thanksgiving, that's what they're doing. Every single year they celebrate the slaughter of countless Native Indians, man. Each year our people are made a mockery of and reminded about how their hospitality paved the way for the oppressor to destroy them. That's exactly what they're doing. That's what we do every single year, man. It is highly offensive and it's an atrocity to continue to celebrate this stuff, man. Give me Habakkuk 2 and 12.
Okay. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 12. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and establisheth a city by iniquity.
Now, that's exactly, read that again.
Verse 12. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood.
Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood. What has the, I mean, like this is how America was established. This whole land was built and the blood is paved the roads, man. You understand the slaughter of our people, man. That this is what this whole thing was built on, man, and established, you know what I'm saying, on iniquity, man. Woe is just an old Quaker English word that means destruction. You understand what I'm saying? So it says, woe to him. It says destruction to him that builded a town with blood. The Most High promised destruction to people that build a town with blood, man. You understand? And what happened to America? This is what they did. They built a town with blood, man. Murdering innocent, you understand, warring against peaceful, like destruction also for them that established a city with wickedness, rape, robbery, you understand, all the type of murder. That's what the oppressor has done. America was built on this. You understand? And established on this. The slaughter of the North American Indians and the enslavement of so-called blacks and Latinos. That's how America was never great. Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans is what make America great, just like that's what we made Egypt great. You understand what I'm saying? Egypt was never great before we got there. Soon as we touched down in the land, that land became great. That land became fruitful. That's why the so-called oppressors, that's why they had to lie to the Indians to get them to teach them how to make, because the land wasn't going to till for them. The land is not fruitful for them. You understand what I'm saying? That's why, like, they had to swindle them and make treaties with them and break the treaties in order to learn how to grow the crops, learn how to, farm the land and do this and do that. Because guess what? They wasn't going to be successful with it. If they were so successful with it, they would have been done it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it don't make no sense. You understand? Every city in America was built on the bones of the native Indians, you understand, who once freely roamed this land. This was their land. It's funny. It's not funny, but it vexes me to hear about how, Donald Trump's supposed to be trying to build a wall in Texas when Texas is Mexico. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is Mexico. How the hell you talk about building a wall to keep Mexicans out of Texas or what these surrounding states, California. This was Mexico. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it just don't make no sense, man. You understand? Like, the native Indians used to free roam all over this continent, man, living off the wealth of the land, man. You understand? Being at one with nature and one another, you know what I'm saying? And then now they forced to be in reservations. You know what I'm saying? Having their natural resources robbed, pillaged, and destroyed. In the end, the white man's God forced on us. Now they put white Jesus. You understand? Here come white Jesus, Christianity, forced on us, man. Like, well, I mean, how much more oppression can you, how much more oppressed can you be? I don't understand it. What else is it gonna take for us to understand what the oppressor is doing to us, man? Like, what more heinous stuff that they have to do to show us, for us to wake up and say, you know what, I'm tired of this. Let's follow our God. Let's follow the law, statutes, commandments of the Bible, man. Like, what else is it gonna take? Is it gonna take some more, Laquan McDonald's and Trayvon Martins and Sandra Bland's and Eric Gardner's and Alton Sterling's, you understand, Sean Bell's, Tamir Rice? What more is it gonna take for us to stop and realize, okay, this ain't right? You understand what we're doing? We're not serving, like, we following white Jesus, and that's not our God. That's not our Lord. You understand what I'm saying? Christ is a black man, the greatest black man and revolutionary to ever walk this earth, and he's our king, man. And he's a Negro from the tribe of Judah. So stop following that wicked Christianity, man. Don't partake in the evil of the so-called white man by furthering his lies and his agenda. You know what I'm saying? Concerning the relationship with the Native American Indians. They never had a good relationship. That so-called Indians and Pilgrim kumbaya stuff that they teach us in school is a lie, man. They ain't done nothing but war with the Indians, man. They slaughtered them, killed them. They broke treaties. The Indians, yeah, we had compassion. Our people definitely, was trying to befriend them and trying to make treaties with them, but guess what? They broke all those treaties, man. Right. And that's what they do. Like, it's Thanksgiving is a way of the oppressor patting himself on the back for the slaughter of the Indians. To build this so-called, this whole MAGA stuff, make America great again, it's all like it's just a prideful act, patting themselves on the back. And Thanksgiving is helping that agenda. You celebrating Thanksgiving, they're like, yeah, look at all these dumb Negroes and, celebrating this stuff. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is America being great. Like, they're boasting in that. They sitting back looking at us eating the turkey and everything. Like, look at them niggers. They just sitting back enjoying this. Look at what we did to them. We got them. You know what I mean? Like, they're dumb. They don't understand. We didn't oppress them for all this time. That Stockholm, that Willie Lynch letter really did help us. That stuff was true. We could strip them we strip them down to nothing, and we can take them off the chains. Because now they got chains on their brains. You understand what I'm saying? Like, man, to hell with Thanksgiving, man. And to hell with the evil traditions of the so-called oppressor, man. You know what I'm saying? The day of thanks for the 12 tribes of Israel will come when the Most High sends YAHANNA. You understand? Our king, man, back on the earth. That's right. And he's going to come to slaughter all of our enemies. He's going to give the order for us to, you understand, go out and get this land that we deserve back from our oppressors. And they're going to receive the recompense, even though they may not see it now. And they boasting, they can boast all they want to. But when Christ returns, it's going to be hell to pay. The scriptures say, you know what I'm saying, he's going to come back with a vesture dipped in blood. He had not come to bring peace, but a sword. You understand what I'm saying? That's what's going to happen, man. Like, you know, and listen, and if you want to hang, if you want to be on the side of the enemy when Christ returns, guess what? You understand? The scriptures say, Christ gonna get an order to bring them hither and slay them before me. You understand? Whoever want woe to them, whoever want destruction to them, you understand? You be on the oppressor side if you want to. That's what's gonna happen to you. You understand what I'm saying? I know for me in my house, you know, we're gonna serve the Lord. We're gonna follow the law, statutes, commandments, man. You understand? And we're gonna, you know, and follow this truth that's only found here in the I.S.U.P.K and the Commander General YAHANNA.
That's right.
You understand, man? With that, make sure you pay your tithes to the men of the Lord, man. www.isupk.com. You understand? Click the donation link. Pay your tithes. You understand? Tithes are very important. We have the Feast of Dedication coming up. Make sure y'all keep tuned, stay in tune. You understand? Stay locked in. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you listen to the security announcements. So when that time comes, you'll know. We're going to have it here at the school. Make sure you're here on time. We celebrate the Lord's high holy days, man. To hell with Thanksgiving, to hell with Christmas, to hell with any other of these so-called holidays and stuff. You understand? Because they all have, they all are basically, you understand, the oppressor basking in their pride. That's what these days are for, man. You understand? The Lord is not going to smell in these solemn assemblies. You're going to be eating turkey. You probably choke on the damn turkey bone tomorrow. You understand what I'm saying? I pray, listen, I pray hell and destruction on those who celebrate this stuff, man. Even though I love my people and I wouldn't pray for nothing to happen to my people, but if you want to celebrate this stuff, man, whatever, let the Lord's will be done to you, man. Right. That's how I feel about it. Let the Lord's will be done. You understand what I'm saying? And Most High in Christ. Maybe that'll bring you behind into the truth. You choke on the turkey bone, you may be like, you know what? I ain't celebrating Thanksgiving no more. You understand what I'm saying? I hope the turkey be bleeding when you're trying to eat it. You understand? I hope it burned in the damn oven. With that being said, man, make sure you pay your tithes. You understand? Make sure you know, Feast of Dedication coming up. Get that right. Passover coming up. Get yourself together. Pay your Passover fee. You understand what I'm saying? Get your garments or whatever you're going to do, man. We celebrate the Lord how we supposed to, man. We celebrate the Lord's days how he wants us to. Follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. With that, I'm going to pass the class over to Officer Ron for the security announcements. You know what I'm saying?
We are the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, started out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, out of the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10, means 10th in the Hebrew, Mayasharah, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations is the Feast of Dedication, which is YAHANNA, the 25th day of the 9th month, by the space of 8 days, which is Friday, December 20th, 2019, for 8 days, out of the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 4, verse 52 through 61. If anyone wants to become a trooper in the school to start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And these are the security announcements.
Most High Christ. With that, Imagine, which means to stand. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, Ahmad Shabbat, Amajim, Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah, Yazamatai. Sorry. We're going to turn and face the sisters. We're going to give a courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Ahmad Shabbat, Amajim, Barak, Yahweh Shemal Atam Hashem Yahushua. Yazamatai, dismiss. Please hold out talking till we clear.